It's been an uneventful summer for the Wizards because they announced the brand new GM, Tommy Sheppard, but he actually isn't that new, right?
Yeah.
Been with the team for 2 decades.
Been around forever.
Right? Here's our new guy, the other guy who we've had. And they offered Brad Beal a 3-year, $111 million contract as soon as it was allowed. He's chosen not to sign it as of yet, but the Wizards still insist they are not dealing him. In fact, here's what Sheppard told CBSSports.com. Brad is without a doubt a core player in this league. Every team would love to have him, and so we do. We've never considered anything other than a situation where Brad is with us and leading us forward. Is this BS or real talk, gentlemen? Ooh.
Yeah,
Ooh.
I really believe that GM should stay away from making this comment, because if there's a situation that comes to the table where it's like a no-brainer, you have to trade Bradley Beal if it's going to make the franchise better. It's not about, and GMs tell you this all the time, and this is why I have respect for Danny Ainge, because Danny Ainge came and had a meeting with me, Ray and Kevin, and said, it's guys, if we're getting older, it was like, I may have a situation where I have to trade you guys. And I respect that. He didn't come out and say these guys are not going anywhere.
Right.
They're Celtics for life. And I don't think GM should do that, because we saw a case where DeMar DeRozan was told the same thing, and he got traded that summer. So I think GM should just stay away from that. They have to do what's best for the organization, the name on the front, not the name on the back.
I mean, pro tip, if your GM of your franchise nickname is Trader Danny, you should know that he might trade you at some point. And you didn't feel any kind of way when he said that? I mean, Paul, you were the cornerstone of that
I
franchise
respect somebody
for so
who can
long.
come and be honest with you and look you in your eye, instead of like nowadays you see guys get traded, they see their Twitter, Instagram. If you could tell me to my face and be man enough and say, look, this is something that can possibly happen,
right,
I respect you more for that.
Yeah, I mean, that is the case, but also if we could pull up that B-roll footage of the announcement of Tommy Sheppard being the head of the basketball operations, but then 7 other people being on stage. And I remember The Athletic had this great piece where Ted Leonsis, the managing partner of the Wizards, explained how, now my mind is open to all these new possibilities that we didn't used to do, and we're going to explore everything and leave no stone unturned. You can't have that kind of rhetoric and then say, okay, Bradley Beal, what should we do? And say, I don't want to hear about it, right? I'm not saying they're going to trade him. I'm just saying the idea that it's a conversation ender, they never had that internal discussion, is unrealistic if you're going to be that kind of organization that hires the football guy and hires the college basketball coach and all these people to have input.
Here's what I know for sure. Bradley Beal, if he stays healthy, will be the most valuable trade chip come February. Because there are a bunch of teams in this league who saw the wide opening to a championship open up when Kawhi left Toronto and Golden State broke up and all of that, and have basically gone all in with their fan bases, with their front office, with their trades that they've made.
Absolutely.
And they will find themselves by midseason, some of them by definition will be like, we're in a little trouble here, we need some help. And they've already sunken the cost in to make these moves, and they will start chasing. And Bradley Beal, the phone calls to Washington are going to be off the hook. So I'm very curious to see what well, that's what I mean. That I'm very curious to see what happens here, because it's one thing to say it here in September. I don't know what they're going to say in February. Let's talk about the Celtics' new starting center. Who is it, Amin?
Enes Kanter.
Oh, yeah, Enes Kanter, participating in WWE Raw in MSG, his old home, on Monday. He defeated R-Truth to take the WWE's 24/7 belt.
Sorry, Rachel, I don't know who that is.
A whopping 22 seconds later, he lost his title back to R-Truth in a shocking plot twist. Plot twist! Kanter did manage to find some time to speak to Bleacher Report about the pros and cons of playing pro basketball in New York City. Again, plot twist that Enes Kanter had time to talk to the media, and he said, which by the way we love, thank you, Enes. He said, I had an amazing time with the Knicks, but other teammates I talked to, or if they're on different teams, they always said, amazing city, Madison Square Garden, amazing, everything is so good, but the ownership. They always keep saying, but the ownership. Is this BS or real talk?
This dude loves to talk, but boom, he is on the money with this one.
On the money.
Without a question. I mean, you can go through the whole litany of things, the way they treated Carmelo Anthony on the way out, the way the Kristaps Porzingis trade request
Tell me when
went
you get
down.
into Charles Oakley.
Charles Oakley.
Thank you.
It's over and over for the last basically 20 years. A lot of more downs, a lot more embarrassments, like when he said here, free agents are dying to come to the Knicks, and then nobody came, right? It all starts at the top. A lot of times, fans want to blame the star player, why aren't we better? They want to blame the coach, why aren't we better? They want to blame the GM. But many times, you want to follow the trail You follow the trail, it leads you to the top. It's ownership that makes the organization successful or unsuccessful. In this case, Enes Kanter is correct.
Absolutely, and this is why I don't buy that star players want to go to big markets. Well, why haven't we seen that superstar player year in and year out consider the Knicks if this is supposed to be the biggest of big markets? And so it starts at the top, like you said, and as long as Jim Dolan is there, I just think the black cloud is going to remain over New York City.
Especially as we're now in a time where players are more aware of, I only have this much time in my career, in my prime. I got to make the most of it. Why am I going to waste time saving somebody who gets in their way over and over again?
Well, look, we certainly thought there was a lot of speculation we would have seen Kevin Durant and Kyrie go to the Knicks. The fact that they chose the Nets over and kept citing both of them, culture, had to have made an impact. That being said, you cannot force an owner to sell for just making stupid decisions.
Oh, no.
Right?
He's here to stay.
So
unless you get him in a scandal.
The NBA can't do anything about this, and he owns the team. So this is the way it is. I'm not sure if we're going to see any different anytime soon.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For highlights and analysis, check out the ESPN app. And for live streaming and premium content, check out ESPN+.